Hello everyone, and welcome to Fan X Fiction. Today we're going to be reading Marry, Kill by MaskoftheRay. All IPs in the DC universe belong solely to the creators of the DC universe. Everything here is fictitious and does not represent anything in the DC universe.
At times like these, one almost wishes they were from Metropolis.
Bruce drawls. The thug behind him snorts. Irritatingly, he can feel the man's hot, sour breath ruffle his hair.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, Mr. Wayne.
Thug 2 replies. Thug 1 grunts, evidently in agreement. They've been waiting here, in parts unknown, for nearly an hour. Batman, or anyone else for that matter, has yet to show up. But something which the thugs don't know, and Bruce does, is that Batman won't be showing up tonight. Because technically speaking, he's already here. Bruce knows that if he were a regular hostage, he'd be dead by now. No use in keeping live bait around if the fish aren't biting, so to speak. Luckily, both thugs seem to agree that the wait will be worthwhile, when the ransom money is at last passed along. Evidently, it's become a bit of a common scam for Gotham area banks to receive callers claiming to have kidnapped Bruce Wayne. Some even hired voice actors, and apparently, one or two have been good enough to get away with it. So Bruce's bank, like the others, has decided to up its security procedures, hence the wait. But still, the payout will be worth it. If Batman doesn't bust them first, which he won't. At least not tonight.
Thought Bats actually cared about all you rich fucks. How's it feel to be forgotten, Wayne?
Thug 2 asks, chortling.
Irritating.
Bruce replies dryly.
I'll have to have a word with him when he finally arrives.
Thug 1 snickers at his mock annoyance. At first, both men had been quite antsy, and waved their weapons around in a way which didn't seem like good news to Bruce. But, as time had passed and nothing had happened, the men have calmed down. Brucey's good-natured, if slightly idiotic, commentary has helped. Somewhat.
You know, gentlemen,
He says calmly.
I am terribly bored. Are you sure that I can't just write you a check and get this over with?
Thug 2 growls.
No, Wayne, we told you before. Money wire only.
Bruce sighs, pretending to be put off, but really, his mind is whirring. He's not sure why no one's arrived yet, but panicking won't fix anything. Neither will annoyance. Those fingers are starting to get irritatingly numb. So the best thing Bruce can do is keep his kidnappers calm, till he either escapes or someone else finally fucking shows up.
Well, in that case, would you gentlemen be interested in a little game?
Couldn't hurt. What you got in mind?
Thug 1 asks. Bruce smirks devilishly.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Thug 1 blinks. Thug 2 snorts derisively.
What?
He continues.
Not interesting enough for you?
More like we don't need to hear any more about you sleeping around.
Thug 2 sneers. He shrugs as best he can.
Fair enough. How about if we shake it up a little then? Fuck, marry, kill. With the Trinity.
What? You mean the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost?
Thug 1 asks, sounding vaguely horrified.
No, you idiot. He means Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Thug 2 exclaims. He pauses.
Unless you actually do mean that Trinity.
I meant Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Bruce clarifies dryly.
Okay. I'm game if you are.
Thug 1 says.
I don't care either way. Wayne, you start.
Bruce swallows.
Well, I seem to have not thought this through.
Wayne.
Thug 2 says threateningly.
Although, Clark's certainly taking long enough that he deserves to hear this.
Bruce sighs. Both men move to stand in front of his chair.
Let me see.
He pauses for dramatic effect.
Kill Batman. Yeah, definitely kill Batman.
Really? You'd kill the big bad bat?
Thug 1 asks doubtfully.
What if he hears ya?
Bruce snorts.
At this point, frankly, I don't care.
All right, then.
Thug 2 says, sounding mollified.
Good. So, kill Batman and, excusez-moi français, fuck Wonder Woman.
Fuck Wonder Woman. Why not marry her?
Thug 2 asks this time. Bruce rolls his eyes.
The heteronormativity is strong here, apparently. Fine, I'll explain. Or would you rather hear why I'd marry Superman first?
The thugs exchange a look and shrug.
Go ahead.
One says. 2 just nods. Bruce smiles.
Well, he's gorgeous for one. Not that I'm exactly lacking. And so strong. Brave and kind, too. I never have to worry about killing spiders again. And, you know, gentlemen, a big old house like mine is chock full of them. With a big heart like his, I'm sure that Kryptonian would bring me flowers and chocolates.
What about the lay? You haven't talked about the sex yet, Wayne.
Thug 2 interrupts, seeming disturbingly enthusiastic about it. Bruce shudders internally.
Well, one doesn't always marry for the lovemaking, if you know what I mean. I'm sure he'd be fine, but what I'm more interested in is stable. I've had enough good fucks.
Thug 1 nods, as if what Bruce just said is sage advice, and not total bullshit.
Christ.
Thug 2 squints at him and shrugs.
Fair enough.
Bruce nods.
Right then. So, this leads me back to why I'd fuck Wonder Woman. I'm sure she's adventurous, and she's got that lasso of hers. A rich guy like me, hard to find a partner who's equally as powerful. Or, in her case, more. If I'm going to have a one-night stand scenario, I want memorable. You understand?
Both thugs nod.
Seems solid to me.
Sure, I guess. But personally, Batman is the one I'd
Hello, gentlemen. Mr. Wayne, hope I'm not interrupting something. Bruce nearly rolls his eyes.
Thank fucking Christ.
Superman, who is covered in some sort of blackish purple goo, slowly floats through the massive hole in the wall, which he'd just created, and gently sets his red boots down on the floor with nary a sound. Both of Bruce's kidnappers are frozen in place. One's mouth has dropped open. Clark quickly meets his gaze, and Bruce nods. Just as Thug 2 is raising his gun, aiming it at Bruce, Superman acts. Suddenly, both men are tied up with the rope which originally held Bruce. Nice bit of irony that he'll have to compliment Cal on later, and are now sitting in the corner. Superman offers him a hand and gently pulls Bruce to his feet. You alright, Mr. Wayne?
Peachy.
Bruce answers cheerfully.
I don't know where that bastard Batman is, but it doesn't matter now that you're here to take me home, Superman.
He winks. Clark offers him a quick grin. Glad to hear it, Mr. Wayne. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll be back in a jiffy. Superman slowly floats over to the pair of tied-up thugs, picks them up, and floats through the hole in the building. Despite himself, Bruce laughs.
I'll admit, sometimes Clark's showmanship can be pretty entertaining.
A few minutes later, Clark returns, sans goo, and picks him up. As soon as they're in the air and away from the warehouse, Bruce asks,
What was it?
Clark sighs. Yeah, sorry about the wait. It was some lost alien. We had a bit of a misunderstanding and they spit on me. Wouldn't have kept you waiting otherwise.
I see.
Bruce replies, eyebrows raised.
I'll have to ask about that later.
They both fall silent. A few minutes later, Clark huffs. His gaze wavers out to the blue sky around them, and he seems to be watching the passing clouds. Bruce frowns and offers an inquisitive grunt. Superman looks down at him and says, You know, Bruce, I'd marry you too. Bruce blinks.
Oh.
This has been Fuck, Marry, Kill by Mask of the Ray. We hope you all enjoyed. Hope you had some fun. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for listening to the story.